Good morning, Nick here. Today we're going to embark on the project of installing a complete Fullsac exhaust system on our new CVO Anniversary Limited 2018, 117-inch Milwaukee 8 motor. I thought that I'd put together a complete video from start to finish on doing a complete Fullsac exhaust, recoring the mufflers, the X-pipe, reusing all the chrome pieces from Harley, and then tuning the bike using a TTS Mastertune tuner. So what am I doing right now? I'm in the car. I'm on my way to Princess Auto. For you Americans, that's like our Canadian version of Harbor Freight. I've got to get another set of carbide bits with 1/4-inch shank. Anyhow, I'll grab a set, an inexpensive set, because really all I need it for is to grind off the welds inside the CVO mufflers to get the OEM cores out of them, so I can recore them with the power core 2-inch ones I think I got from Fullsac. This is our patient. It's a 2018 CVO Limited Anniversary Edition, and I'm just about to give it its very first firing. And never even started. Pushed it up on the trailer, rolled it back out, stuck it in the garage. Haven't even started it yet, so no idea how it even sounds. Oil, and then these die grinding bits. They're not carbide, they're just a high tensile steel, but I really only need this one probably to grind out the welds in the cans. And then I bought a Dremel sized carbide tip burr remover just to clean up the welds on the inside. So we'll start by removing the bags and finding a safe spot for them. I think I'll set that table up underneath the lift and put them on a mat, and we'll get going from there. All right, so the saddlebags are off, parked nicely on the table over there. So the first trick is to get these two exhaust cans off on both sides, get both of the mufflers off the bike. It's only going to require a couple of bolts on the bracket there, and then a muffler clamp between the header and the muffler. So I've determined the tools required are nothing more than a 5/8 socket and a 1/2-inch socket, 5/8 to get the muffler clamp off, and the 1/2-inch to get the two other clamps off. So let's just see how hard this is going to be. The bike's brand new. It shouldn't take too much energy to remove it. They come off. Now I'll move to the other side. Just as a reminder, the left side of the bike is a smaller diameter inlet on the muffler, and the clamp is smaller, only requires a 9/16 socket instead of 5/8. So far, 3 tools and both cans are off. Okay, first thing is to remove these heat shields. This is a 5/16" nut driver. We'll just loosen them and slide it off. You can still just loosen it. Get it over top of that. And there you have it. We'll get those covers off. if you can see, there are welds that hold on the factory muffler's cores. Those two welds have got to be ground off. So what I've had to do is collapse this outer part of the old core so I could get the air file in there to do off this bit, or do off that weld. So I had to give it a little body hammer bang with a dolly. Nothing like banging on a brand new bike's parts. In any case, so I imagine this is going to get kind of noisy because I'm going to be using this, which a compressor will kick on every so often. Plus I'm going to have a vacuum cleaner to make sure that most of the filings end up in the vacuum and not on me or the bike. So with a little help from a little carbide tip on a Dremel, I was able to clean up the welds a little and hit it with a hammer, and you can see how it slid back from where the original weld was. Now the goal, get this thing out. The broom handle, I just stuck it in there, and out you can. Voila, that's that. A little bit worse for wear, but anyhow, there it is. There's the old core out, and the muffler is stripped. Now time to clean up these welds a little bit with this little Dremel. So I make sure it's fairly round. We'll vacuum up. So we'll clean that can up, and then we'll start on the other one. Then we'll start assembling them. So I thought maybe why not clean it up just a little bit with just a sanding stone on the Dremel. So what it calls for, the instructions are very simple. Once you've got your cans all cleaned up, it says to drill a 1/4 inch hole on the bottom of the muffler, so that's the top of the muffler because that's where the clamp is. On the bottom of the muffler, 1.5 inches in from the end, a 1/4 inch hole. So I'll find some way to mark this up with a piece of masking tape, and then hole punch it and drill holes in both of these two things. Here's a masking tape. We know that's the top of the muffler. And we'll just go straight down. Yeah, that looks okay. So somewhere in here, 1.5 inches away from the end, we're going to drill a hole. And a Sharpie. That's exactly 1.5 inches. And now we'll drill this. just to double check. There's the hole. 1.5 inches. Hang on. Now I've opted to have the Techmats to go with the Fullsac Techmats. So that's our next step, is to install the Techmats, which seems easy enough, but maybe not. And here's the theory. If you look at the old cores, these are the stock cores. The matting or batting is wrapped right around the core. Now these cores are pretty bent from getting out of there, but it's wrapped right around. I'm assuming there's it's perforated tube, causing a lot of restriction. So you can go with or without the Techmat cores. So there's the new Fullsac cores. Get my vacuum cleaner out of the way. But the Techmats, as opposed to wrapping around the core, you wrap it around this spring. And then you shove the spring and the matting into the tube with the matting wrapped around it, and the spring expands and causes the matting to stick to the outside of the muffler, deadening the sound but not restricting the core in the center. This is the theory, I assume. These Techmats to go around this and slide them in without it expanding. So it says to compress this and then wrap the matting around it, which is what we'll do. Take one of these mats, and wrap the batting around it while compressing the spring. And without releasing, it says, try to stuff this in there. Not tight enough. Take the core, the hole, line up the core with the inlet at the far end, and you can't see that, but you're supposed to line this up. And I can feel it. Line up with that 1/4 inch hole. And you're right, it will push the Techmat into the right depth. I supply you with some 1/4 inch hardware. It's exactly a 1/4 inch. I got it. All right. I want to make sure it's tight. If that lock washer is set properly. Turn cap back on. Let's make sure there's no right side or wrong side. There isn't. Line up this thing. Now grab the 3 screws that were in it. So there's one. One's done. Totally record. Fullsac record with a 2-inch core and the Techmats. Nothing seems to move. I think we're done. We'll do the other one. So those are the Record factory mufflers, but with 2-inch Fullsac power cores. Thank you, Steve George. Nothing to it, really. It took no time at all. The worst part about it is the grinding, and it's not really onerous. It's not terrible if you've got the proper tool. You can do it with a Dremel. It might take a little bit longer, but I'd say overall, recoring the mufflers took about an hour in total time.
Oh boy.